A boy went from Olympic gold medalist to world heavyweight champion. He finds his faith, retires, and becomes a preacher. When financial hardship hits his family and church, George steps back in the ring and regains a championship at age 45, becoming the oldest heavyweight champion in boxing history. Let's start our journey. The story begins with a black boy named George and his whole family moving to their new house. The house actually was not looking good at all. There was no electricity, and they also didn't have enough food. But the mother asked they should be grateful to God. Meanwhile, our little George didn't agree with his mother. Later on, when George was sleeping, Alan told him not to pick a fight with anyone at school because he gets angry easily. In the next day, George is at school and everyone is watching him because of how he appeared. While in class, he decided to answer the teacher's question, but she didn't allow him. Lunchtime, he sat alone with no food while everyone else was having a good time. Someone called him names, which made him really mad. And as they say, a hungry man is an angry man. So he beat him beautifully. When the teacher came there, he ran away like a mad dog. Some years later, George and his friend were monitoring outside a bar when a man stumbled out drunk. They followed him, attempting to steal from the dude, but it happened that the man was a police, and all was a setup. Cops came, and they chased after him. He forcibly hid in the sewer pipes, and when the police arrived with the dog, he honorably covered himself in sewage to avoid being detected. And it actually worked. The police couldn't find our man. Later on, when George was heading home, he saw a place where they dash food and drinks for free. But in the same place, they also assist people to find and improve their talents. And then those people have to work there. George informed his mother about it and revealed he wanted to go there. His mother didn't stop him and let him go. George went to the place and eventually got the uniform. The guard laid down the rules to him. When inside, he saw the new shoes his mother got him. But at lunchtime, he realized his shoes were gone. Someone stole them. Then in the dining hall, he sees the thief taking glory with his shoes. He got really angry and started chasing the thief. But the thief went into a room and shut the door. He still broke the door to get in and bring out the dude. They fought, and he almost threw the thief out the window. But Duck intervened and stopped the fight. Duck brings him along in his car and has his important papers with him. He noticed that he was in trouble before, so they didn't let him in. Duck then gives him money for the ticket, but George begs him many times and says this should be his last chance. Duck then feels sorry for him and takes him back. He notices that George is really strong and asks him to join the boxing club, which Duck happens to be the coach. George says yes and goes to the gym. He fights one of them but finds it hard to win. People started mocking him, but Duck kept teaching him. Then George got mad and punched a bag so hard that it fell down, shocking everyone with his immense strength. Duck trained him at the gym and cheered him out. He then called his mother and told her he was starting boxing, but the mother cautioned him to avoid fighting. George explains that it's just a sport with rules. Later on, he faced the dude who mocked him earlier, hit him so hard, and knocked him down. Duck was impressed by George's performance. Just then, George wanted to compete in matches, but Duck said he still needed more training because he's new to the boxing game. George asked him about the earliest date for the tournament, and he told him that after a year the tournament would be held, and told him that he would not be able to participate because he had more training ahead of him. Meanwhile, a year later, George is participating in the tournament and fighting a strong Russian boxer. His family was watching him on TV, and they were very proud of him. The fight begins, and everyone is cheering for George. After several heavy punches from George on his opponent, he easily wins the gold medal. He was happy and raised the American flag. His family was in shock at what they saw as their brother had won his first gold medal at the age of 19. Later on at the airport, a beautiful girl grabs his attention, so he goes to meet her. The lady is called Paula. Then he was able to take her phone number quickly. Duck takes him to professionals to train him. He introduces him to Sadler and Moore, who is also a coach. George watches Sonny, who wears a black belt and trains with him. He starts training and then calls Paula. They got to know each other and eventually fell in love. He fight through some matches that qualify him to enter the tournament. He managed to win all his matches easily and became famous. Then he managed to marry Paula. Finally, he was able to reach the final match, and his match was with a professional boxer who defeated Muhammad Ali 2 years ago and was expected to beat George easily. Everyone was chanting the opponent's name. The fight starts between the two boxers, and George remembers the words of his coaches. He receives an unexpected blow from his opponent but also hits him, and then punches him, knocking him down. Everyone was shocked by George's strength. The second round begins, and George is in control, and delivers multiple unbearable punches. Then he hits him, and knocks him to the ground. Indeed, George deservedly won the championship. Duck was very happy because he knew that one day this person would become a hero. He becomes more famous, then he takes on Arch, and makes him his manager because he's smart at math. George later watches the news that boxer Muhammad Ali is mocking him. He told the announcer that he would face George one day, and beat him up. George takes his family to the big house, and they celebrate his success. He had a child, but he didn't care about his wife. His sister, Mary, tells him that she is pregnant. Later on, problems started between him and his wife because of the fans, and she was angry about that because he has changed. After that, he travels to participate in a big tournament to fight Muhammad Ali. Everyone was expecting him. He sees Muhammad Ali mocking him in front of everyone, but George maintains his steez. Everyone thought that George would beat Muhammad Ali hands down because he was so strong. But in the match, he tried to fight his own style without the help of his coaches. The match started with him controlling the match, but then he loses focus due to his ego and arrogance. Muhammad Ali then dominated the match. Duck was angry because George was fighting unfocused and punching anyhow. In the end, Muhammad Ali beat the hell out of George, making everyone shocked. He spoke to his family, but his wife revealed that she wanted a divorce. After that, he meets his mother and asks her why she kicked him out. He tells her that he was the sole reason for his loss, and he holds him responsible for his own downfall. One day, he decided to fight 5 solid boxers in order to prove to everyone that he is still strong. Muhammad Ali was among those present. As usual, he mocks George, who asked him for a match between them, but Muhammad Ali tells him that he does not fight losers. Then we see him with Duck and realize that he lost. Duck gives him tips to gain back his old self. He then receives a message, and he rushes to the hospital because his sister Mary is about to give birth, but her baby is in danger and may die. His mother then asks him to pray to God. He goes out and prays a lot, and he is sorry to God. He told God that if someone had to die, he should die instead of his sister's son. A few moments later, we see Mary with her son, and they are in good health. The doctors couldn't believe how the baby lived. She told him that she knew he had called upon God, and that God had answered him. After days passed, he was fighting his opponent, but he was out of focus. Everyone was believing that George, since his loss to Muhammad Ali, was no longer the same. Indeed, he lost the match. Duck didn't know how to deal with him. He was very angry and asked them not to talk, and passed out. He was about to die, but he survived. Duck told him they thought he was dead. He gets faith and goes to church and talks about what happened to him. He told them that people should believe in the presence of God. So he decided to retire from boxing and dedicate his life to serving Christ and the church, and to become a priest. When he came out of the church and told Duck he was retiring, he couldn't believe it. He decided to convince him to return to boxing, but he was adamant about his decision. Then he goes to Muhammad Ali, and they start a new page and become friends. After that, he moves to his wife too and apologizes to her. She accepts his apology, but refuses to return as his wife. Later in the church, he saw a girl and fell in love with her. He takes the microphone and stands in front of the church and gives sermons to people. After that, he goes to meet Jenny and talks to her. Then he takes her to an old church that was closed, and he decided to reopen the church again. 10 years later, he became a pastor in the church and gave advice to people. A mother asks him to teach her son boxing, but he refuses. Then he leaves with his wife, Jenny, and their children. Some time later, he watches on the news that the boy whose mother brought him to teach him boxing has been accused of theft. Suddenly, he regretted not agreeing to train the kid, which made him take hours and go to an old gym for them to reopen. Arch was a bit nervous, and something seemed wrong. Many renovated the place and spent a lot of money until young people started coming to train. Suddenly, the electricity goes out, and it turns out that they did not pay. Then he goes to the bank, and the big blow is that his balance in the bank is empty. If he does not pay the money, the sports club will be closed. All this happened because of Arch, who betrayed him and used the money for gambling. He went to Arch and beat him up, but then he goes away. Instead of giving up, he decided to do advertisements to save money for the gym. His wife said they didn't get enough money yet, so he had to start boxing again. Even though Jenny didn't want him to, he convinced her. He went to Duck and said he wanted to box again. Duck said it would be hard because of his weight and age, but he insisted. Duck told him to lose weight and come back to train. He trained every day and finally reached the right weight. Then he went to Duck to train. He got into a fight and surprisingly won. The news is on TV, and people are watching. Then there is the big gold belt championship. He didn't win, but everyone still supported him. He got paid well from ads and fights so he could pay off his debts. Later on, he fought another champ who was younger, but he won because of his experience. People were amazed that George became champ even though he's old. And that is the end of the movie. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and see you on the next video.